blame it on. So yeah.
This is true. This is true. So I was already explaining to the guys that it's basically the first podcast. Will improve a bunch of things, but for now, this is the podcast. We're gonna talk about some topics, and in the end, we'll do a Q&A, and that's about it. And it's basically me, Mr. Fosh, Maxwell down here, and as a guest, we have Pointy Head Jedi. Who would know? Such an unknown figure on the stream. And what I like, by the way, Jedi, can you show your shirt for a sec there?
I know, so exotic.
I just noticed something. No, show the shirt. Show the emblem.
Okay.
Like, we got Superman, and we got Batman. Oh my god,
Yeah.
look at this fucking merchandising here.
Fosh is the odd one out.
Crazy.
You know what is on my shirt? I have a dog riding a bicycle.
I have a guy with a beard. I think I'm winning.
Best superhero of all.
Oh yeah.
Dog riding bicycle, greatest superhero.
No, it's a human with a dog's head, so it's even more badass.
Wow.
And how long have you had that shirt?
For a while. I think I bought it
figured.
when I was still working.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, welcome guys. I hope you all got your beers ready.
Well,
I've been
whiskey,
drinking all
close
day.
enough. It's not even proper whiskey, it's Glenmorangie, but it'll do.
I got about 12 beers, so I'm good to go.
Rum.
I have no height. Like, do you guys want to go for like 2 hours, or do you just want to go until we?
I think just an amount of time. should
Yeah.
be-
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I'm done.
Well, we have our list of topics to get through and anything else we think of, so...
Yeah, this is correct. So what do we want to start off first? Maybe about the new patch that's coming. Maybe the HD clients.
Yeah,
something like
9.0
that?
is the thing everyone's getting excited about. There's HD graphics, there's Havoc physics, there's historical battles, there's so much to talk about.
Havoc
But-
isn't the 9.0.
Well, it's
Is it?
coming. It's starting to be introduced with. They're making the changes that will allow it to be introduced. But the most important thing that's coming with patch 9.0, and I hope you're all braced. I'm going to be reading from the patch notes here.
Oh shit.
The T7
No.
combat car, you guys, it's getting its speed buff from 38 to 56 kilometers an hour. It's getting more ammo, and it's getting 5 more pen. As
Damn.
is the the Mark 6 lights. So, GG guys, well done Wargaming. That's
GG. Aren't they also
everything-
buffing that British one? That little British.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Mark 6, yeah.
They're buffing
That's-
the pen to 27, I think.
It's the patch we've.
That's
all
a
been
major
waiting for,
victory.
guys. It's
What a
just-
victory.
I mean, that's it. That's one of the tanks is complete now.
That's
before-
9.0 for you.
Yeah.
That's two. All right,
That's
that's
it.
great. All right, good job. So, but what surprised me the most actually is the fact that I'm not sure if this is 9.0 or not, but they're only releasing like 10 tanks in HD. They don't
Well-
do like one
Oh, I
big
didn't
ass
realize
patch with
That-
all the HD models. They're just T54, Tiger, all that stuff is like HD.
They're basically, I can see why they're doing it this way because they've got to do everything from scratch pretty much. I mean, obviously they've got all the blueprints and everything, but one of the answers actually on FTR was someone obviously asked about it, and one of the replies was, well, we can't just the kind of the regular looking tanks will actually be based on the new HD models. They won't be the current models, so it's like they'll be downsampling, to use a term from like video or wherever. That they won't actually be. They can't take the models they've got and make them.
Yeah, so
more
it's not like they can build upon the
high-res.
existing models. They've
Yeah.
got to just start again.
I also
I
heard the most important thing about the patch is that the T54 HD model has the log on the back.
Oh my god.
That's
Yes,
the-
a lot of people have been excited about that.
Because it's unbalanced now, because the weight distribution, the tank is unbalanced now, but they're gonna make it better again.
They're going to
by-
fix that.
They're gonna fix it, so it's not OP anymore. By putting the log back.
It's clearly the log that makes
It's
it.
clearly logged. Doesn't make it unbalanced. That's what they called it, right? Unbalanced. I don't know.
Yeah, so it leans ever so slightly to one side, so all the shots bounce.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Well-
thought that's a bit odd.
Well, another good cool thing is that they're getting rid of confrontation. I think we all can agree that that was a shitty game mode, and it just shows
Yeah.
how
Oh, yeah.
unbalanced things are.
So that's been in the game like one patch.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was called from the
Amazing.
beginning, and they kind of backpedaled a bit and said, you know, oh, well, we were just testing it out to see if it, yeah.
Because in theory, great idea. In practice, you just get a whole wolf pack of T-54s that go and just stomp people's faces.
No, it's not actually how it works. It's the problem with the confrontation is that we have these stereotypes in all the tanks that Russian lines are the easiest to play, and in Tier 9, where you get your IS-8, it's not that good anymore. And then all the new players are playing the IS-8 against an American team that are playing their M103s and all that good stuff, and they just stomp the Russians almost all the
They've had to
time.
drive through shitty tanks and learn how to play.
You just end up with so horribly imbalanced teams. It's just
I think they gave like an answer on the Russian forums, which basically said that like they couldn't do anything about it because those like couple of specific tanks were being played so much that you were always going to end up with teams like 15 Hellcats. I had that the other day as well.
Yeah, or 15 ISUs. That could have been predicted
like, what?
though. But it's just anyway, it's going. So we're all glad it's
I don't
going.
really mind. I never really liked it, but it's only one patch. That's interesting. Like.
I think I only ever played one game of confrontation in the whole time.
I did a couple, but it just doesn't work very well a lot of the time.
It's a cool experiment, but good thing is that they realized that it's not working properly and they're taking it out.
But 9.0 is not Havoc.
No, you only get the flying turrets.
We do get the flying turrets? That's kind of
That's good.
It's something.
But there's going to be, from my understanding, they're starting to introduce the back end changes that will enable them to.
Because isn't Havoc supposed to be all client based, but then pretty much everything in World of Tanks is all server based to stop people cheating?
No, wait, isn't Havoc also?
No, it's client.
It's client.
Some of it. I
Originally.
think some of it, a lot of it's going to be client based, but some of it, I mean, things like destructible buildings, that must be done server side because that's got to be the same for everyone. But
well, not necessarily because when a building gets destroyed, as long as the server knows at least which part of it's been destroyed, the rubble afterwards is meaningless.
Well, true, but we're going to get things like if a building falls on a tank, it's going to damage the tank, so the server has to know that. So some of it must be server side, but I think the cosmetic stuff is all going to be like the new track physics they're talking about. That must all be client side.
It does look really cool though, like the trailer and stuff they released. It does look really cool. The tracks and the HD model. It will probably attract a whole new crowd. There's always that bunch of people that always go like, "But the graphics suck."
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know. So that would be cool. More pancakes for everybody.
Well, then again, if they're putting in like 10 tanks, it won't change just yet. You still need to wait half a year if you're one of those people who can't play because of bad graphics.
I'm actually really surprised that they don't release this one giant ass patch, because then you can make like the biggest like commercials. You can do an entire campaign.
But then again, it would come out in half a year because they are working on it. They can't. It's a lot of work, I guess.
I think.
Of course.
Probably more like a year if they're doing all the tank models in the game. You know, think about how many tanks there are in the game. So I can see why they're doing it this way. They're keeping people's interest up, maybe.
There's pluses and minuses to both ways of doing it. Because if they did it all in one big thing, then it's obviously they could do a massive marketing campaign and almost a relaunch. But on the other side, it's kind of being nice to the people who were already playing it, saying, well, here, have some tanks as we finish them.
Do you think that this partial release of the HD models has something to do with the pressure of ground forces?
No.
Do you think if ground forces wasn't there, that they would just wait half a year?
I think it would come, but I think maybe it would have come a bit later. I think there's... what War Thunder has been... What Gaijin have been doing, I think that's given Wargaming some impetus to get off their butts, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like... Competition is good in this kind of thing, and I was thinking actually of it in terms of, like, if you remember Internet Explorer back in the day, and everybody used Internet Explorer, and then Firefox came along, and suddenly they actually started updating Internet Explorer, which it hadn't been for like years and years. That kind of competition is it's a good thing, and I think it's we're starting to see the fruits of it now, and it's probably why they're actually releasing some of the models in dribs and drabs as well, because they want to get stuff out.
It's historical also 9.0, because there was some information about it. I don't know if anybody actually read some of that, but I saw that you can you basically have ammo loadouts and stuff. Yeah, like the tank is already made for you, so you get like stock turrets and stock guns and stuff like that.
I was going to say, how is historical mode really going to work? Because let's say you press the battle button and you go to the Battle of Kursk and you're in a T-34 versus a load of Tiger tanks. It's like, how's that going to work?
I think it's a special queue, right?
It's a special game mode.
Yeah, there'll always have to be more T-34s than Tigers, but it looks like what the carrot is, that you'll be able to, if you don't have modules unlocked, the game will basically give them to you for the duration of the battle. So you can grind a stock tank with non-stock modules, essentially. So I think that's
actually
going to be the big
carrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the modules assigned to you even if you don't have them.
Right. So you could say get a fully upgraded, I don't know, T34, and then you'd get the XP on the T34 that you've got back in the garage that's stock.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
But they also make the T34s historically accurate, so you're not gonna have a fully equipped T34 probably.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool. It's another option. It's pretty cool.
It's going to be lots of battles with T-34s basically ramming Tigers up the bum, and because you got it with that 76mm gun, you can't take them from the front. But it might. I think it could be. It has the potential to be really interesting.
I want to see the maps as well, because if they if there's Tigers matches against T-34s, they'll have to be outnumbered and outflanked by the spawns already.
You need very well designed maps or larger maps.
Is there any news on that? Like, are they getting separate maps? Because it would be a silly thing to put everything on.
2 of the 3 are going to be on Erlenberg. So,
all right.
Really?
Yeah. They might do like. It does seem like at the moment they're just repurposing existing maps, and I do wonder if in future they'll come up with like customized maps for specific battles. But I mean, when the Stalingrad map comes out eventually, I can see that getting a lot of use in historical battles as well as the other battle modes. But yeah.
And we lost Jedi.
Yay!
Podcast. Woohoo!
Well, that took how much time? 12 minutes?
12 minutes. That's very nice. GG, Jedi.
Hooray for Scottish internets!
Can you turn on your cam on again? There we go.
There we go.
Wow, that's Scottish internet, eh?
One of my pigeons temporarily lost power and plunged into the sea or something. I don't know.
Very nice. But yeah, is there anything new? 9.0 patch. Is there anything else that was going to be implemented already? It's not as big as a patch as I would thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be full HD.
A lot of it's laying the groundwork, but it's
It's not as big as I thought it was going to be.
They do seem to have gone for a kind of philosophy of more patches where they're releasing. We've had a lot of tank releases recently, but then that's going to slow down over the next year. But we're still getting some new tanks. I mean, we're getting new Panzer IVs, new Stugs at lower tiers.
Oh yeah, we get the whole chassis thing going on as well, but that's not 9.0, is it? Where you can get different chassis
that's definitely confirmed it's coming at some point, so that could be also interesting. But I think they will integrate that with the HD models. They'll probably I don't know actually if they'll because if they wait until all the tanks have got HD models, we could be waiting quite a while for that. But on the other hand, maybe they're fine.
I mean, how many tanks are there in Riddle Tanks right now? Like 400 or something? Like something crazy? Like
lots. Look in your garage, you must have all
300.
We have like 4 different models for the T-54 already.
Pretty much.
It's slightly different kind of impression.
Oh, but you can say that the patch is not really big if they make this historical battle mode like a separate thing, and it's like half of the game.
Yeah, historical. If the historical's in there, I guess that's a really big part. But it's not something that I'm specifically gonna play now. Like, I'll try it out.
I guess so. Try it out, but you can't platoon in it.
Yeah, that's
Wait, you can't platoon in it? That's interesting.
No platoons, no RT.
No RT? Oh!
Sold to begin with.
Sold!
But then again, I think you will be able to play up to tier 7 in that only. So...
okay.
It seems like sort of a speciality thing. You wouldn't grind it all day, every day. You'd play it, fancy fighting some T-34s.
I mean, there's definitely there's people already interested in these kind of things, but the only way to do it at the moment is basically people mucking around in a training room, which is kind of, you can get some teams going that way. But I'd quite like to see some kind of hopefully they add a team mode to it at some point, because at the moment it's just going to be, because you can't platoon with people, it's just going to be like teams of random people against each other. But if you could have a team-based historical battle mode, that would be really nice to see at some point as well. So hopefully they will implement that.
It's just until tier 7. That seems a bit odd because tier 8 has like the 30 and stuff.
Yeah, well...
They're only doing 3 to begin with, so they'll introduce more battles as they,
I'm just saying, tier 8 is not as futuristic, You get
I was going to say, a lot of tier 8 tanks either didn't exist, or at least didn't exist in World War II.
You get Tiger 2s and 30s and stuff.
Yeah, but there weren't that many Tiger 2s even.
They but they're bound to do the Battle of Prokhorovka at some point, the actual battle and whole Kursk salient thing. So that was like the biggest tank battle in history kind of thing. So.
I guess the highest they could reach up is tier 9 in Germans, like the Yak Tiger with the stock gun. I don't see any other tier 9 or even 8 apart from the Germans that could be put in historical.
Pershing a little bit.
Yeah, Pershing, I guess.
Pershing was mostly in the 50s though, but like
no, there was a
heavy use.
Super Pershing was also in there, right? Or am I?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they've already confirmed
the
the Panther
end.
M10 is definitely going to be in use, so I'm sure we'll be able to see. It might be slightly ahistorical having a battle where there's a Super Pershing available for picking to take it. But,
that could actually buff up Panther M10's value. I mean, if you get to play against T-34s and the Panther M10, it's going to be the best tank ever.
That's
such value.
That'll be in the Ardennes battle, so that.
Are they like when team battles came out? And the whole 7v7 esports thing. They added a bonus to XP and I think also credits, maybe.
Yeah, same goes
to
historical.
Yeah, they're gonna do it with historical as well. The first couple of weeks or months.
I think they're gonna do it for. I think they're gonna do it for the entire patch.
Right.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
So it sounds like it's a good idea to do for a stock when you grind in a stock tank or when you fancy a bit of a change.
Certain tanks anyway, because there's only certain tanks you can use in it. But if you're thinking about going for the Soviet medium line, for instance, and you've never played the T-34 before, it's a good way to grind that, or grind your stock Tiger or whatever. So.
And it's just cool because it's just another game mode you can play. Like this is absolutely nothing wrong.
Different from what we have now. It is something genuinely different. It's not just another game mode that's in the random rotation.
Yeah. See, I think the rumoured garage battles would have been a good idea, but apparently they've got pretty much no intention of implementing that.
Really?
Well, not for a long time.
They kind of went back and forth on that though. Like first they said hell no, and now it's like maybe, and now it's like
it just seems like a good idea where you pick a bunch of tanks and then when they get destroyed you go. But I suppose one of the main draws of World of Tanks is a game doesn't last more than 15 minutes. It's generally 5 to 10 minutes and you're out. You don't get locked in.
The other thing is that the World of Tanks maps, where would you respawn?
Yeah.
Because I think the maps are too small.
I think there was the idea of having multiple bases, so you'd have like 3 spawn locations, but yeah, if they all get overrun, then you're screwed. But the maps are too small at the moment.
Speaking about smaller maps, by the way, they're also increasing the render range, right? Is that also 9.0?
No,
is that coming?
They're not increasing it.
It's to do with how it's it's at the moment it's
right now it's a square.
Your view range is a circle, but the render range is a square. But
yeah.
That's
aren't they also?
changing.
Yeah, but aren't they increasing both like the render ranges so you can like shoot further away as well?
No, it's 700 meters as it is now.
Really? I thought that was going to be increased because that would be cool to get a little bit bigger maps or little things as well. I think that might be cool.
Are they changing it to a circle, or are they keeping it as a square?
No, they're making it a circle now, which makes way more sense than a square.
A lot more, yeah.
A square render range is just what? Doesn't make any
30
sense.
versus 30 of teams is something that has been, these are things that have been mentioned in the past, but it's been a while since we've had any.
Because bigger maps and a better render range would also.
I think they need to. That should come in like this year, maybe next year, where they rework the spotting mechanics and rework the render.
Yeah, spotting is so up in the air sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you finish a game and you're like, well, they did alright. And then you have like 5k spotting, you're like, what the hell? And then when you jump in your specific scout, you don't get anything sometimes. Where you think,
nothing at all.
Probably got like 3k now, I didn't shoot on purpose, stayed in this bush, spotted everything, but no.
Well, the solution is Scout Mouse. Just plays the mouse,
That's one of the things the larger maps would facilitate. Is obviously you'd have a lot more emphasis on tank roles. So the light tanks would actually have a role. The medium tanks could actually flank, and the heavies could hold a flank.
Yeah, and this is also another topic we wrote down. Actually, it's how to fix light tanks.
Well, it's been. They're talking about balancing, and then they've been very mysterious about what they're actually going to do. But I like Max's idea of bigger maps because actually that would give something for light tanks to do.
It would give people would come into zone into one of these larger maps and go, right, this is what I need to do here. Everyone would know the role rather than everyone just going, oh, well, that guy's going over there, I'll follow him.
Well, I think for scout tanks to be fixed, they need to be better than medium tanks for scouting, so they need to have better view range than medium tanks. It's complete garbage. Then you have for instance, tier 4 scout with 370 meter view range or something like that, fighting against tier 8s, and like a T69 has 400 meter view range. How is that fair for the scout tank?
Yeah, because I mean they get the bonus of not losing effective camo when they move, but you don't really notice the benefit of that. But view range definitely needs to be. I think to be honest, the view range of a lot of tanks, bearing in mind the size of the maps, needs to go down.
Or
and
if they make the maps bigger.
Well, if they lowered the effective view range of every other class of tank, apart from maybe tank destroyers and light tanks, that would immediately solve the problem of needing larger maps. Because then only really light tanks could get in a position to spot people and radio it back. Obviously, keep the render range the same so that people could shoot at them. But if you can't see something, you'll need a light tank in an advanced position to relay the coordinates back.
Yeah, right now it's just not beneficial. Like I know me and Fosh just run tier 10 mediums with optics, and you're good to go. Basically, you can do both roles. You have a way better tank to play it in, and I also think it still would be really cool to see. Regardless of all what was just said, it would be really cool, and I don't know if this is actually possible in all countries, but to get scout tanks every country up until tier 8, because now you get the 1390 WZ, but you also have a Chevy at tier 6 still. It's like
tier 5.
Yeah, tier 5 even, yeah.
So they are cool changing the Chevy pretty soon, but I'm not sure if it's going to tier 8. And Germans are going to get.
I don't know. I think there's possibilities for higher tier American lights at least. But,
what else would be like?
Because they did have them.
Germans are till tier 7?
They are going to put the tier 8 German in pretty soon as well. It's the RU251 or something like that.
They'll just do an awful Tiger.
Tiger with looks to it. Let's do it.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome, actually.
Wow.
I want that now. I've said it.
So we got the Germans, then we have the French, we have the Chinese. Japanese is still tier 5. 4, 5?
No, Japanese doesn't have like scout.
They don't have any scout tanks, do they? Yeah, that's the problem here. Because I'd like to see every country with a tier 8 light.
Definitely.
And not tier 10, but just tier 8.
But I mean, it is extreme, but I think if everything just lost 20% of its view range, that will go a long way to fixing light tanks.
And that might be a more direct way to just fix it for now, and then once they are able to make the maps bigger, they can transition into that.
Yeah.
The other idea I did have, and this is maybe a bit far out, but at the moment we have differing terrain resistances on various parts of the map. What if you made it so that there were certain parts of the map where heavy tanks couldn't go, for instance, but mediums and lights could, and
yeah, like that little swamp down the side of Malinovka. Make it so that if you go down there in a heavy tank, it's 1 or 2 kilometers an hour.
That's a pretty cool idea, to make the terrain like different.
Really
for
make a
different
difference.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. That's pretty cool. Alright.
That would need a lot of work to make that work.
Yeah. And again, wouldn't totally fix light tanks. Because I think the problem people have with light tanks is a lot of people just don't know. It's like when I first got a tier 4 light tank. Like when I first started playing World of Tanks, I got into a tier 8 game. I was like, well, what am I doing here? I didn't even know what scouting was. I just thought, well, why is my Russian A20 in a tier 8 match, and I'll just get blown up immediately. So I think
you see that fairly often. You like people in their little 3.8 NA going, tier 8, what am I doing here? Oh, I'm scared. And then they sit in a bush for the whole match and don't,
Yeah, they should fix that as well, by the way. Now that you mention it, like the scout tanks that are in between 2 mediums.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's awful. I really think that puts people off the game. Like, you have a good time playing your Panzer 3 or whatever. You're getting your 38 and A, you're like, well, fuck this game. I'm out. Like, it's not even fun. Like, it's not even fun if you know what you're doing.
Because I mean, way back in the day, tier 4 was all the scout you would get, and then eventually they put in tier 5 scouts. So back in the day, you can understand. But now that there are tier 8 scout tanks, change the matchmaking for the tier 4 lights.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious that you still get Panzer 38 NAs going against 1390s. Like, what are you ever going to do against the 1390 in a 38 NA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same goes with the tier 6 scouts. What are you ever going to do with them against the Batchat? Batchat is just going to rape you all the time, every time.
So, just wait. So, wait, are you saying like the tier 6 should only see tier 8 and stuff, or what?
Maybe if they put...
Tier 6... Go on.
If they put higher tier scouts, like all nations till tier 8, then I think they can limit the tier 6 scout matchmaking as well. But up
Down
until
to tier 8.
yeah.
Yeah, to give the same
let's
tier
face it, how
spread.
much havoc is a tier 6 light tank going to cause in a tier 8 match? They might have a good game, but they're not gonna break the game really.
No, and then you just meet mediums with optics, and you're
Exactly.
it's just like, I don't know.
So, in conclusion, light tanks, bigger maps,
Bigger maps, get tier 8s,
reduced view
tier
range.
spread.
I'm going to be interested to see what Wargaming's solution is to all this and if it's any good or not.
And they probably are thinking about changing something.
Yeah, I'm sure matchmaking will be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. So, anything else in 9.0 that we might have skipped?
There's a whole bunch of like minor things, but I think we've covered all the major stuff.
That, in other news though, which is like the tank that everybody really wants to play for like years now, kinda got confirmed that the Sherman Firefly is coming.
Oh yes, that's.
I've always find it odd that has not been in the game already. It's like one of those iconic tanks, like a Tiger tank, the Firefly. You know, it's like.
I do. Well, I suppose. I mean, its natural place would be. I can't figure if it'd be a good tier 6 with that gun, or if it'd be more appropriate at tier 7. But it's still. I can see why they didn't put it in place of something like the Cromwell or the Comet, which were fairly well used in the Second World War. But then so was the Firefly. So why didn't they just put it in alongside, like for instance, the 30 is in alongside the Jagdpanther 2? So. I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery that it has taken so long, but who knows?
But,
I'm still waiting on my French heavies. Damn it!
Yeah, the non-auto-loading ones. They basically said, and somewhere in FTR last month or something, they basically said on the Russian forums that they have the entire line ready, but nobody plays the autoloaders pretty much, the heavy line. So they're like, well, we might as well do something else in the meantime because nobody's going to play these anyway. Because the models have been out for like, maybe a year almost. Like, I've seen pictures and stuff, and it would be really cool. I'd be up for those. I also just read, by the way, that historical battles will have separate stats.
Yeah, well,
I wonder how that
track,
influences the whole Axiom thing.
They already track stats, your in-game stats separately for
team battles, right?
Team battles, so it's maybe not surprising they're going to do that as well.
Does Axiom take in team battles?
I think it does.
Random question, but it does. Yeah.
I think it does. Yeah.
Oh, somebody in chat's also mentioned the tier 10 British medium. That's another thing that's
also a good topic.
Yeah.
The Prius of the UK line.
Well, there was that the fella that Jingles bumped into at Bovington who was measuring the
the
armor
chieftain.
thickness.
Yeah. But
but the Vickers MBT has also been mooted as a possible replacement, so it'll be interesting to see what's actually introduced.
Don't they want to change the heavy and the medium? Very much.
There was a rumor like that, yeah.
What was the change for the heavy?
That
probably another version of Chieftain.
Maybe
just a Chieftain with sandbags on top or something.
Yeah, with a basket at the back.
With an extra log.
It's funny to think that on the British line, it's the tier 10 tank destroyer that is actually the historical one, and it's the heavy that is the sort of made up one. Because you'd think, just looking at them, that there's no way they actually built that thing, right? 183mm cannon, that's insane. But they actually,
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to see a chieftain. I'd grind for that.
Anything but the fucking Prius.
Yeah. I think that's what's in there at the moment.
Yeah, and the tier 10 heavy, like, I really want a different one for that one. But we'll have to see. I already unlocked it, so hopefully we'll just get the research for free and stuff. That'd be cool. Alright, does anybody else have a topic they would like to talk about?
I think we were going to talk about esports.
Ah, yes. Now I have a confession. I haven't watched esports real things in like 2 months now. I watched it.
There'll be a reason for that.
Yeah, like the game's then, but I've heard. I think Fosh has watched last 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah,
back then, which is like 2 months. The games were really campy, and apparently the American World of Tanks esports is a bit more fast-paced, where they camp a little bit less, more aggressive. But overall, I always have said that like I don't really like the format as it is right now, but I also don't have the answer to like, all right, we should do this. Like I kind of drawing blanks there.
Because they clearly can't do 15v15 battles.
I don't know. I think it's more the way the league is set up. Because I was watching Dorjan and whoever the other guy was presenting the Russian finals, and it was battle after battle. It was the same thing. It was 8 minutes of complete inactivity. They'd get to various points on the map, and then they'd all just be kind of like staring at each other through, across a building kind of thing. And then in the last 2 minutes, stuff would finally start to happen. But it was just draw after draw after draw. And the only way to really combat that is to change the rules of the actual tournament itself. So,
or make the battles 8 minutes shorter.
Yes.
Yeah,
3-minute deathmatch.
What's the? They did change the time though. It used to be 50. Now it's 10, right? I think.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
Battles.
They could easily put it to 8, but then again, the problem we're facing here is like every game up until the finals is like good aggressive play, like they try to win and everything. But when you put on the line like $100,000 for each player, they're like, well, you know how old the tanks is. You make 2 shots bounce and you lose. Yeah. And when it comes down to $100,000 for you, and you bounce 2 shots, you really don't want to be that guy. So they are like,
the esports stuff needs to somehow be more forgiving than the live game, where you can make a little bit of a mistake and not just lose $100,000.
No,
somehow.
Obviously, you should be punished for your mistakes.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I mean, say look at something like the biggest esports out there at the moment, which is League of Legends. A team can make a few mistakes, but if they make a couple of good players, they can come back. But I mean, I think that's just more the way that the game's set up that facilitates that, whereas in World of Tanks it isn't really. Because if you bounce your shot and then get shot and ammo racked or something, that's it. Your team's going to be screwed from that point on.
Yeah, I also think, but I think there is some news about the change in that, where they make esports specific maps where they are the same on both sides. Basically, you split it together in half. And you have
like tournament maps.
Yeah, like
could help
on mirror maps.
Yeah, mirror maps. I think that will go a pretty long way as well, which I actually something that they should have done from the get-go, to be honest. But I guess they were busy with other maps or whatever. And I also I understand why they do the whole tier 8 thing with AMXs and stuff, but to me it seems odd that a game's esport is not end game. Even though it would probably not work, but it seems odd, it's still odd to me that tier 10, which is the end game of Little Tanks, is not implemented into the esports itself. There's no goal further than tier 8, which is a bit odd because you want people. If I was the company, you would probably want people to see the best, to see the highest tier. So people need to work up for that, and they're gonna spend more time, gold, and whatever on it to get those.
I think it's probably just because there's more choice and more balance at tier 8 than there is at tier 10. So I mean, there's one American team that I was looking at, and they prefer to take a whole bunch of Pershings over the AMXs just because of the good all-round tanks. They've got great DPM, decent hit point pool, agile, and fast.
But, no, I understand why they do it. Just somehow it's kind of odd that the end game is not the esports thing. It's just, I think that's a bit odd for the game.
I'm not sure that would solve the problems exactly, but yeah, I do see what you mean. It is kind of like that they don't use the tier 10s for that.
Well, in tier 10s you get some tanks like the Waffenträger E100 that take 10 of them, and how can you lose?
Just win.
I mean,
yeah, but
tier 10 could be much more fun because the tanks live longer, so you might get your mistakes forgiven. Like one bounce shot won't mean the defeat, but then they would have to ban tanks like the Waffenträger, maybe the 57 Heavy, the Death Star. They would just have to ban them.
Well, the teams do get bans, don't they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Does teams still get bans?
I haven't seen.
No,
that.
you can't.
I'm sure a tournament I watched, they were allowed to ban one tank each.
Wow. I was also thinking, if you have, say, a best of 5, that you can't, if the same guy can't be in the same tank every round, wouldn't that, if you have enough rounds, and people
then you would get those. Oh, I don't feel confident in this tank. Let's draw, please.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think they should just have, after a certain number of draws, the teams have to have like a tug of war, or the captains do arm wrestling or something.
Just have one big ass bonus round or something.
Yeah. They take one shot each draw one shot.
That'd be actually kind of cool. Start the game, get shot once. If you draw again, you get shot twice at the start of the game.
Then the Russian teams would. I mean, they already win all the time. They'd win all the time even more then.
But I think bans could go a long way to help them as well.
But wouldn't that be just like 50% ISV or whatever?
Yeah,
well,
but
exactly.
what would they help really if you think about it? It's like the teams these days pick like mirror matchups. You're gonna ban the one tank like the IS3. They're just gonna pick the 110. You're gonna ban the 50-100. They're just gonna find the other next best tank, and it won't change much really.
That's true. Maybe it needs to be bumped up to tier 10 then for the hit point pools.
I don't know, but yeah, in tier 10 you get a lot of tanks that are really bad for.
Make everyone just.
But I think it's
mouse only tournaments.
Mouse only.
Mouse only tournaments.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the problem with people picking the mouse is everyone just use gold rounds anyway. So.
No, the mouse can still bounce some gold though. It's still.
But I think it's really hard if you want to balance the esports, but you don't want to affect the pubs kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they might even want to get separate, like separate
like a tournament
so
round.
far. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the fact that they're introducing historical, which has got fixed tank configurations. Maybe they could do something
for the esports. If you want to pick a 50-100, you have this set up for it.
Yeah.
The only example I could think of right now that had the same kind of impact, which is like totally not World of Tanks, but like in World of Warcraft, they didn't have PvP, then they had PvP, and then they had Arena. And what they figured out was that they needed to nerf certain abilities only in Arena.
Yeah.
To make Arena more fun, because CC, which like Fears or whatever, would last like 15 seconds or whatever. So in PvP, it would last only like 4 seconds, whatever. But something like that, maybe in World of Tanks, I don't know. Maybe with the module that Historical Battles gives you, they could change something specifically for the esports in the tanks. I don't know, something like that maybe.
Yeah, like the way. So you've got very specific setups. If you take in this tank, this is how it is.
But would that even change anything really? Like if they're forced to take different kind of lineup, for instance, the shotgun and the 50-100, both teams will still take it because it's still a valid choice.
Yeah, I suppose at the end of the day, and then they'd still camp for 8 minutes and then draw.
Yeah. It's really hard.
I thought of a solution. You just have a map that's just flat, and
it's just a grey plane.
Yeah, and then when the two teams join the battle, they don't have any control over the forwards or backwards. Their tank is automatically locked on. It goes forwards all the time, so there's no cover, and you always have to drive forwards. So that would stop camping.
Or maybe put in bots that you have to farm to get your gun upgraded.
The League of Legendary Tanks.
Or maybe
get towers, tower defense, the fucking.
You know how you
buy items at the store.
You know how you have in Counter-Strike the gun games, do the same in all the things. Both teams starts with T1s and you farm kills and then you get to tier 10.
I
the
actually watched that.
Get the kill in tier 10 wins.
No, it should be the other way around though. You should start with tier 10s, then you have to work your way down, so you have to get a kill in tier 1 as your last
but
kill.
Then that would be like, it wouldn't even give that much skill. It would be like you level down to tier 1 till at least 2 people are tier 1. So
yeah, but like level 2, 3 maybe even, that could be actually hilarious.
Somebody in the chat did suggest all AMX 40 battles. I'd watch that as well.
Just AMX 40s.
Yeah.
I think the gun game could actually be cool.
Yeah, the gun game.
I like Bosch's idea of leveling down as well, from 10 down to 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should do 10 till 1, not 1 till 10, because then the guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, 1 to 10 is also kind of funny because you get giant ass rushes. So.
Yeah,
it could be like one guy's at tier 9, then the other guys are stuck at 4 and 5. He's like,
that would be aggressive and
yeah. It could also be kind of cool. Yeah, I agree. They both could work.
Because at the end of the day, what they've got to look at is just making it more exciting to get people to watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
sitting behind a rock for 8 minutes isn't exciting.
And it's always, is it always? I haven't watched it in a while, but is it always like just? Is it not never encounter or whatever?
No.
No, it's always standard battle.
What about capture the flag?
How would that work?
Pick up the flag in the center and take it back to your own base.
Yeah, taking it back to your own base.
Everyone would take ELCs.
That could be hilarious. Man, I would be down for that, to be honest.
Hey, that's something you could do with scout tanks. You could have capture the flag mode.
Capture the flag. That'd
See,
be
I'm
hilarious.
just starting to think about it. And would mirror maps actually decrease the camping? Because if you know that the enemy's side of the map is exactly the same as yours,
I don't think the map
exactly where to camp.
You can't design a map that's not going to be camped on unless it's like totally flat. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it does help
Larger
because
maps
it's
again.
equal.
Larger maps for flanking and light tanks to spot.
Yeah, but the problem is, with larger maps, usually they all just stick together and tier ones just spot somewhere else.
Yeah.
And,
like
and if you make it even larger, people are going to be like all the way to the left, and the other team is going to be all the way to the right, and it's just going to be rushed to the cap or whatever. You know, that's sort of weird.
So the other option is a 400-meter map.
Well, esports is all supposed to be about at that level of the thing. It's supposed to be about skill. So you really need something that I don't know. Maybe they could implement
remove gold rounds.
Are they not
Skill?
removed already?
No, you shoot all gold. I don't understand
Oh my
that.
god!
How is that
You're-
esports?
Yeah, that's not cool.
Firing
I
all
mean,
the
it
goals.
completely changes the tank balance as well, as long as
Yeah.
you take out gold rounds and all you see is KV4s and KV5s driving around, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because
I
at the
mean-
moment armor doesn't matter, which is why everybody takes AMXs and
yeah.
Well, AMXs are still strong because they're auto-loaders, but saying that, for most skilled game mode that should be for a game, which is esports, you take out, 50% of skill that it takes to play the World of Tanks, aka aim, then it kind of sucks. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's really any easy answers to
No,
this, but there's
no.
definitely
No,
things that
well,
could.
they've
And
obviously
this-
spent a
this
lot of
also-
time thinking about it as well and haven't fixed it.
Yeah, but it's also why I feel like the World Tanks esports scene is kind of forced. I don't have any answers, but that's also
Yeah.
it feels very forced. Like we have to make this in esports right now. Think
Gun
of
games.
rules.
Gun games. I have
Dude,
that.
that'd be gun games. I'd be down for that. Historical gun games.
Yeah, because at the moment it's the commentators that keep you interested. They,
Oh,
they
yeah.
Yeah, but
fantastic
they
job.
have to try really hard.
Oh,
I was when I was watching,
Wasn't
even
like
Borjan was getting bored.
Wasn't it like 2 months ago where there were like fucking 20 draws in a row? Like stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that was happening. It's like, oh my god. And people in the chat are just basically for codes.
Well, that's going to turn off the Americans straight away because they don't like draws.
No, Americans just pick some weird tanks and they have teams that get crushed because they pick 3 KV5s and then yay, we lost. I wonder why.
What a surprise!
Innovation. But yeah, it's
So
it's
no
a
easy
really,
answers for
there's-
esports.
No. Yeah, I hope somebody has the answer at some point because it would be cool.
It does feel like it could be more of a thing than it is, because I don't know how many people actually watch the esports, but it's not that many in proportion to how many play World of Tanks. It's got to be a tiny drop in the ocean. And you'd
Yeah.
think, the draw would be see the top players playing at the highest level, and it's not that at all. It's,
Watch the amazing blistering action.
yeah.
But then again, if you look at the audience of World of Tanks, most people that play the game don't even give a shit how you should play this game. So they don't even want to see how other people play it. I mean, comparing to something like Leagues, where there's oh yeah, I have to play as good as I can so I can win. And World of Tanks, you're just driving around in a tank and you're red and you don't give a shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be that much different. Well, I don't know. Have you guys seen one player or whatever that really sticks out of everybody else? It seems to be everybody kind of hits the same kind of ceiling you need for esports, and it's
I think in World of Tanks it's quite simple to hit that ceiling, especially when you're just shooting a goal.
yeah.
I mean, at that stage of things, it becomes much more important about
Teamwork and
team
all that.
training.
It's more
yeah.
about teamwork and forward planning than it is about absolute reflexes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
It's definitely a different thing than becoming a solo pubby unicum. Yeah, however the phrase goes. But it's, I don't know. It feels like it should be more interesting, but it's kind of not.
Yeah.
Well, we have our solution. So Wargaming now has to design gun games.
Yeah.
gun games. Gun games
Yeah.
is our our
Get on it,
answer
Hector. Gun
today.
games, AMX 40s.
And another thing to build up on my idea, like you don't have to like evolve right away. You like get the second gun. You start with the stock gun, then when you kill somebody, you get the second gun, and so on. You like go through the gun upgrades.
It could be.
You make like
so everybody
a
gets a
map.
mouse and start off with a 7mm gun, and then it goes all the way up to a 1
Just get the same tank, but you just switch guns.
Yeah,
every time?
just switches guns.
You get something fast, something fun, like
Yeah. No, like
Yeah.
listen up, ELC AMX gun games. You get the ELC, but only the gun changes. You don't have a full rotating turret. You're fast. You have low health. Good luck.
But it's that would be too much RNG. Like
Nah,
DLC
that would be
content.
hilarious. That wouldn't be the furthest thing from
That would be
esports ever.
esports. That would be.
Yeah, but a gun game wouldn't be esports.
Why not? I mean, what's wrong?
Like an old random old mid.
No, it's like the game they play between the esports games.
No, but what's wrong with the gun game? I mean, the more people you kill, the better tank you get, the more people you kill, and then you win because you were the one that killed the most people. That makes sense.
Maybe.
But when you get ELCs that can't shoot for shit, and you get your guns upgraded every once in a while, then just mean it's gonna be random bullshit all the way through.
Yeah, but how is that different from World of Tanks generally?
Yeah.
I just think somehow they need to have smaller punishments for making that one mistake. So possibly other game modes, like ones
Maybe
where
you
you
could-
do
Maybe
get...
they could have, because they run their own servers for the esports. Maybe they could slightly tweak the actual game physics, like
What about
change things
just
like
increasing the
normalization
health?
rules, or I
What
don't
about
know.
just increasing the health on the turrets?
Yeah,
Maybe.
but then, if you look at it, look how World of Tanks work. You can't really fix that unless you really like increase the health. But then people won't pick autoloaders, and then you won't get a lot of those engagements where you just go in, try to take people one by one, and so on. It's just going to be like IS3s versus IS3s, and they're going to camp as hard as they would with the autoloaders, if not even harder. Now autoloaders are only useful because you go in, you clip, and then you try to run away and try to pick out people so they can shoot you back anymore.
Yeah.
If you increase the health, it's just gonna change the fact that the autoloaders won't be in the game.
Suppose you could just have some kind of attrition match, whereas when the time gets low, everybody starts losing 10 health every second.
Right, let's do that. That would be actually kind of hilarious.
Well, it starts losing 1 health every second.
Warps. Like in
Yeah.
Warps, the water is rising.
Yeah.
No,
so it can't be a draw.
The
'cause
floor
someone's
is
gonna die
lava.
first.
No, there we go.
So that would force people to engage.
Yeah,
Like with the
Himmelsdorf,
time
you have to
content.
go up the hill.
Yep.
Else you're just gonna burn.
There's a lot of maps like Molinovka as well.
Yeah.
Just starts
Yeah.
filling up with water. If you don't go to the hill to fight the enemy, you're just gonna drown.
Man, RT players would love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful, man.
Oh.
But it would
Then-
force engagements.
Yeah, it definitely would. What else? Mines? No, not. Yeah, mines. is
Mines
pretty
could
good as well.
work. Mine could work, yeah.
Mines and Abbey as well. The final meet point in the Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
It could be hilarious. Maybe with all the new physics and stuff, you can do a lot of more crazy shit. Because you can destroy the buildings and
Fixing
everything.
esports with the floor is lava.
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Yeah.
That could actually be kind of funny. But yeah, the esports thing is really hard to solve. But I think it's a good point to just talk about it, and maybe
I think
someday
they
we'll
really
get something.
they really need to change the game. The rules. I don't think they can fix it with rules. They think they need to fix the game mode. I think that they need to fix the entire thing, because changing like how team wins, like with the draw rules, that won't change shit. Because when there's money on the line, people will try to take. They won't try to take any chances and just
Yeah, they'll
draw.
have as little risk as possible.
You could at least try and limit the number of draws, because that gets a bit ridiculous after.
Well,
a while.
but what then? Like
Well, then I don't
arm
know.
wrestling
go
with
on-
team
go on.
captains?
All right, somebody in the chat
Points
just
or-
said, "How about
don't know.
AI tanks that give points that drive around the map?"
But
I don't know.
AI
like
in World of Tanks is just. Where are you again?
Oh, if
You've
in any
seen
game
the bots.
AI would the what? Yeah, the bots. Fuck. Wasn't
Then you
there?
have to make different maps for that as well.
Yeah. Oh, but actually, the bots thing makes me think of something else. About the recent mod list, the banned mods list. Because
WGNA finally publishing an actual.
Yeah, but has EU done the same?
Well, there's not a list per se. I think there are certain mods that are considered illegal, but I don't know if there's an actual official list that's been published. But
well, it should be the same anyways.
Yeah,
because one or two streamers got banned for wargaming, but I think for like a month.
No,
really?
for a week.
For a week
went
only?
down to for a week, yeah.
Okay, but
Because how can you ban people if you don't have a list of mods that are not
It's
allowed?
kind of ridiculous to be honest. Yeah.
I think the seller guy, which is
but we're not going to tell you what.
how it all kicked off, but he actually got banned on a technicality because he logged in with a second account to try and find out why he'd been banned with his first account or something, and that's why they banned him for having another account or something like that. Or that's how they made the ban.
How dare you have a Smurf account? Get out.
Is it against the rules to have two accounts?
No.
Well, on the same server, I think it's. I'm not sure. I think it is
no,
on the same server, yeah.
That can't be. No, what?
Why would they even mind?
Yeah, why do they mind?
think
It's
it's
just another
probably not very well
account. You have to buy
enforced,
premium
but
for another account, so
I'm sure
I
that's
don't think there's. They're not gonna mind that.
Ryan, what kind of mods do they even ban?
The White Death mod is the one I know of.
What does that?
Mods that remove
Basically,
all-
if you kill a tank, it turns white, so you can easily see if it's destroyed or not.
Never Void uses that one, John.
Well, that's
Shit!
I'd have to tell him about that.
Oh,
shit!
shit.
Fingered for EU, but it's ones that some of the mini map stuff, like being able to tell where your enemy's turrets are pointed and what your enemy's reload
that's also a
time
big one.
is.
And
that kind of
reloads, like, it's insane,
Yeah.
dude. Isn't there, like, the thing called Warp Pack or whatever? It's like a giant...
I can see the reload one being unfair, because like, every like 10 seconds I'm asking you, what's the reload of this tank?
yeah, basically. But you see that in the mini-map as well, so you know when a TD, like, 400 meters away is reloading.
Yeah, that's a
No,
big...
but-
He didn't shoot at you.
Like, there's a couple of like differences you need to realize. Like, knowing the tank, like when you look at the tank and brings out the big spreadsheet on your screen showing the reloads, that's not illegal. Illegal are the mods that show that specific tank
Short
is going to
in
be
real
reloaded in
time.
3 seconds.
Yeah, in
That
live.
is illegal.
I think the laser pointer is another one where it basically gives you.
Tracers are like lasers.
Yeah, the laser beam where you can
Yeah.
see if it's nothing in the way.
You can see
And,
exactly where it's.
And obviously bots,
And
which is
well,
down the list of all.
there is flower removal that just
Flower,
makes
the bush removal.
bushes transparent. It's so easy to shoot through them if you can't see them.
And I think most of those mods were in that Warpack stuff, which is basically like a giant package.
That had things like it has like scripts that automatically lead in front of a target depending on how far it is.
How
away.
much
All
fun can you
kinds of
have in the
ridiculous
game
stuff.
if all that is taken out? Like, how are you ever going
That's
to
got to be
progress?
against the rules.
That was like a seal clubbers pack.
You might as well go
really
play
is.
fucking Minesweeper. The mods just do everything for you. It's like, oh, he's gonna reload now. We're gonna aim right there.
Esports if you're gonna let
You
the
just have to
computer
click
play
the
for you.
mouse occasionally. It's like playing
It's like running a bot program, just watching the screen. It's like, what? It's just crazy.
I don't get it. There's no.
But yeah, I'm happy they finally put up something of a list, and I think it should just put
official.
They should put it on the website as well, because now I think it's in the forums, and to be seeing the forums, you need to be logged in, and to be logged in, you need an account and stuff. And I know for certain that like only 1 out of 10 people maybe use the forums, so they should just put it on the official website, make a news article and stuff about it.
Yes, you probably don't want to bring it to people's attention.
Yeah, I guess it would kind of be counterproductive, because then people are like, oh, I can use those.
But
Yeah.
they've always had a kind of a bit of a weird policy when it comes to mods, because it's only they don't really. I mean, every so often on Reddit, for instance, I see a thread someone will start going, "How do I make mods?" Because there's no guides, no anything. There's no, Wargaming of barely support mods as it is. There's no kind of API. It's just all the modders figuring stuff out through trial and error, which I salute all the modders that have actually done that, guys like Jimbo and Gnomefather, because it does actually enhance the game, and XVM's another big one, but there's no kind of like official support for mods. There's no explanation for mods from Wargaming, how to actually create them, how to interface them with the game.
And I think it would benefit Wargaming, like you can see
Exactly.
like if you give people a mod tools, like that's how Dota and stuff came to be. Like you can do crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like I understand that they are worried that they might make stuff that would be like way too OP or illegal or whatever.
Well, I suppose if they give you the tools and you can't do it within the tools, then it's not allowed.
But then again, what kind of mods are we talking here? I mean, to change sounds or what skins, they should they should give tools for that. But then again, when there's mods that break the game's ancient to show dead tanks white, I mean that's going too far slightly. So
yeah, of course.
I think like skins and I think sound packs are a bit trickier, but skins are fairly easy.
And in a way,
it's things like XVM. I mean, that took some. There's obviously some real, hours of work have gone into making XVM
and it's all stuff that like the reload timer. How long did it take Wargaming to put in a reload timer in the vanilla scope? Like I've been playing for like almost 2 years or whatever, which is not the longest time. It's been out for like what 4 years or something. And it's now in since 2011.
But that's another way they've been very slow to. Some of the stuff in the mods is that there's some really good stuff in there, and it's.
They're slowly chewing the XVM up into the game slowly. It's the XVM mod minimap might slowly get in there with all the tank names and everything. It's like horrible when you install the game after the patch and you like, well, there's a medium tank there. I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
I remember the bad old days, sort of forlornly typing in chat. Could anyone tell me what that medium over there is and how much health it's got? And just blank silence. So.
Yeah. Well, even back in the day, you didn't even have over target markers, so all you got was percentages.
Who uses
tank's health?
You can still do that.
For the first time,
you can still do that, but that
but
the option.
Yeah, but that's like so dumb. Like in an HP-based game, why would you ever use percentages above the tank?
Oh, my gun does 3% damage.
Yes. Oh, I just shot a mouse for 5%.
Let's write it down. So Jackpotter's gun does.
Where's my calculator?
Mouse.
You'd be like, all right, I just did 5% of a fucking mouse.
Spreadsheet just here.
Can I one-shot this dude?
Yeah.
Because I remember when the first
Give me a sec whilst I shoot him
came
again.
out, it was like a whole new game. It was like, wow, I can see exactly how much damage I'm doing.
But it maybe shows, the lack of support from Wargaming, the level of frustration of those early modders, that they actually sat down and figured out how to do this stuff and put it in the game for other players and themselves as well. Because there's nothing from Wargaming about how to do mods at all. It's just... I don't know, they're missing a trick there, they definitely are. Because there's a big and active modding community for World of Tanks, and Wargaming's just not connected with it at all.
Wargaming doesn't really care, because it's not like, for instance, for Arma, where you just make new content, new game modes. In World of Tanks, you can't do that, because it will just enhance cheating and hacking too much.
I don't know, if you had some kind of... it took them long enough to have an official replays website. If they had an official mods website where it was, mods that are
supported,
approved and supported by Wargaming, then...
Yeah, give them like a seal of authenticity or whatever.
Because there's a lot of really useful mods that I think newer players just don't know about that really make the game, I'm not going to say easier to play, but they give you so much more information to work with and more enjoyable.
Like, I find it enjoyable to know how much damage I've done 5 minutes in, and I have another 5 minutes. It's always good to be more informed
as well, just having more... It doesn't necessarily make it easier, but it presents you with more information.
Yeah, it just makes it more enjoyable. Choices. Like, it doesn't matter at all to see how much damage you've done. Like, nobody gives a damn.
Yeah.
Like, it's just for you. Like, it's just cool.
Things like damage counters are just kind of like keeping score for yourself, really, because you see it at the end of the battle anyway. But there's other things like some of the minimap information, which actually I think can make you a better player because it gives you more information on which to make decisions, and it's otherwise you're relying on your 14 random teammates that probably don't speak the same language as you to relay information, which they never do anyway. So
yeah, it's funny. It's like totally something else, but on the NA server. Like, there's a lot more chatting going on during the games because everybody speaks English.
Everyone speaks English.
Yeah. Right now,
I imagine it's the same on RU and probably the Chinese server as well.
Yeah. But EU is just like nobody talks and if anybody talks, it's like clan recruitment for some clan you're totally not interested in a language you don't understand. So.
Clan nobody gives a shit is also recruiting.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
All right, here's a topic actually. Fucking arty, alright? Because, like, this week has been arty party, pretty much, in Tier 10 again.
It has been slowly coming back.
Well, we can explain the background here. So Artie got nerfed what 3 patches ago?
Yeah.
8.6 was.
Yeah, I think it was 8.6. Yeah.
Then all the Artie players who didn't leave because they were so their hearts were broken. They started to play the OP tier 10 TDs like the Fosh 1.5, the Object 268. They started playing those, and now what Wargaming has done, they have nerfed the TDs. So Artie players are slowly getting back to their nerfed Arties because the 100 alpha that the TDs lost was just heartbreaking again.
Too much.
Poor Artie players that were camping in A1 in their Object 268 in the last patches. Now they have nothing else to do to go back to Artie. So
they just jumped.
Artie.
They jumped into the TDs. Now those got nerfed, and they're like, well, better go RT again, since clicking A1 is way easier than actually aiming my TD. So I still think they should just put a freaking cap in it. And the counter argument to that is that it would increase the queue times for RTs a lot. I'd be like, yeah. So what? What?
And the problem is?
I don't see it, guys. What the fuck?
If they want to play artillery that desperately.
Yeah, it's
at tier 10, 2 artillery is more than enough, because any more than that, then they can cover too many sides of the battlefield at the same time.
Yeah.
Or they can just focus one person down who appears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Screw it.
It's...
Limiting artillery
would just solve my problems. I don't care.
Capped 2 RDs, I guess that would be fine.
Yeah, 2 RDs.
I guess I could live with it, but then you'll have to look at the fact that the most games will have those 2 RDs in it. So
yeah, that's also a thing. But I would still be better than having a constant like 4 or 5. Sometimes we've been on a streak where we get like 4 or 5 RD again.
Yeah, then you get one shot in your 10 medium tank tier 10 medium tank by a tier 7 RD.
Yeah, I swear. Sometimes there's like no difference between tier 7 and tier 10.
Well, it happened to me in the last live stream. I got hit. I was in the IS4. I'd lost 200 hit points, and I get one-shotted by artillery. It's like, well, that was fun.
Yep. GG.
2,300 hit points gone.
Yep.
Not even an ammo rack.
I think RD's game mechanics should be changed if they want to stay in the game like they are.
I kind of like artillery as it is in War Thunder, where in certain tanks you can call in an artillery strike, but that's like a totally different game mechanic. So
yeah, I don't think that would work in
I don't think they'll.
In World of Tanks, you couldn't do that. Like
No.
if you look at the maps, you just see where you can put in that airstrike. Like for instance, we play on Prokhorovka, you like just nuke A1 automatically.
Yeah.
Every tank that can order RD strike will do it, and the maps are too small and too predictable for that.
Maybe that's how they could buff scouts.
Oh yeah.
Let them do it.
How's the fixed light thing?
What's more exciting?
But then you probably just have 15 scouts on, teams if you.
Can you imagine esports with kill streaks? That'd be interesting.
Call in the dogs.
UAV online. Yeah, call in the dogs. That'd be amazing.
Well, I'm going to disappear for a minute, but
we're gonna do a short break, guys. So we'll be right back after about 3 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
We'll probably do maybe 1 or 2 more topics, and then we'll do Q&A in the end if you guys have any questions for us or whatever. We'll pick some good ones out of the chat.